from the South Downs Ways in beautiful sunny Sussex. Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
This week, 6 types of cyclists we all know and love.
To hate.
Indeed. Which one are you?
Plus, we have got news that is guaranteed to make you ride instead of drive, and some huge news on the cycling team transfer market. This time it's the GCN.
Yes!
Welcome back, by the way, son.
Thanks, mate.
How was Colombia?
Amazing. Biggest avocados I've ever seen.
Right. Any other news?
Yeah, quite a bit. All in good time, though.
This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that 58% of you think that Ollie Bridgewood would beat me in a fight. I mean, I know I'm held in quite low esteem, but that is a new all-time low.
It is, isn't it? The unfortunate thing, Dan, is there is only one way to prove everyone wrong. Although I think we can all agree we would love to watch, wouldn't we? Now, we also learned this week that the world's best-looking male professional cyclist is now one of the top 10 best-looking male GCN presenters. Oh yes, welcome aboard Bernie Eisel, who joins GCN's presenting ranks fresh, if you can use that word, after 19 years in the pro peloton.
I'll tell you what, the GCN online shop will never have looked so professional, will it? As when he starts to model our clothing.
Yeah, I'm just going to be flicking through pictures. Brilliant.
Now, as well as being a presenter here and doing videos for GCN, he's also going to be working with our friends at Eurosport on the Grand Tours as a reporter. And I think we're all very much looking forward to his insights.
Absolutely. Now, we also learned this week that even though Strada Bianca was cancelled, you can, of course, still go and ride the route. Mikhail Kwiatkowski proved exactly that. He was one of many pros that had already travelled to Tuscany, but went out and rode it anyway, all 186 kilometres of it.
And put it on Strava, but didn't take a Strava KOM sire, which means that my one is still safe.
Yes, this is that point of the year where you bang on about your Strava KOM from Strada Bianca, isn't it?
It is, and I thought it might have been ruined, but I managed to slip it into the GCN show. It's all good.
Yeah, well done then, mate. By the way, where did you finish in Strada Bianca?
I was top 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I placed 9th.
And who were you riding for at the time?
CTT.
Ah, that's fantastic, yeah. Because funny enough, that brings us neatly onto our main story. So I was riding to work, seeing so many fellow cyclists, and I was thinking to myself, we can quite often be categorised into fairly neat groups, can't we? The first of which is the has-been, that person that's constantly banging on about their almost successes and near misses from decades ago. They might have ridden for a semi-high profile team.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Bernie Eisel's already said twice to both of us about his victory at the Ghent-Wevelgem many years ago. I mean, it's not even a monument.
No, is it even a proper classic?
No, it's probably just a semi.
Basically, yeah. Now, fortunately, though, there aren't that many has-beens in the world of cycling, but one group that's front and centre of our minds after Ollie's recent hour record attempt is the Aero Dork. Now, this is something we touched on a few weeks back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes referred to as all the gear, no idea.
Yeah.
Or all the kit, still
Yeah, now before you get upset, we did ask Ollie if it was okay to make that joke.
We did, and he said no.
He did say no, yeah, but at least we asked. Anyway, you won that fight this time then, didn't you, mate?
How can you tell an Aero Dork, I'm hearing you ask? Well, firstly, just look at them, you can tell. But if that doesn't give it away, they'll also be a bit wobbly, won't they? Because narrow handlebars are really aero, but ironically quite hard to handle.
Yeah.
They'll also be wearing an aero helmet, a skin suit, and riding on very, very, very deep wheels.
Yeah, and another side effect actually of being an aero dork is often they'll be a slave to their power meter, which means that they don't really mix well on group rides. Either you'll see them off the back on climbs because they're riding to a specific zone, or half-wheeling everyone on the flat because they're so darn slippery and aero.
Sometimes it doesn't matter though, Si, because as every aero dork will tell you, if you're aero enough, you don't need mates, because you'll just be on your own ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, you used to be an aero dork, didn't you? Back in the day. Now, one group of cyclists who absolutely have to have mates, in fact they can't ride without them, is the hipster cyclist. And that's because on group rides, there's far more opportunities to stop and take photos of yourself.
Because of that, hipster cyclists are very easy to spot.
Yeah.
Mainly on Instagram, it has to be said. Although if you fail to spot them there, a good bet is to go and look at your local pretentious coffee shop. Because the thing is with hipster cyclists is that as long as you're looking really cool, you don't actually have to ride your bike that far.
No. One mistake, though, that you need to be careful of, Dan, is mistaking a genuine hipster for a fashion victim cyclist. You see, right now, they too will be wearing cycling shorts, a baggy t-shirt, have a bum bag on, be riding a gravel bike that's also covered in loads of bags as well, because excess storage is so on trend right now.
And I wonder whether they use those bags to store all of the aero tight-fitting lycra they had been wearing until about 12 months ago.
That's right, yeah.
Probably in their sheds, in fact, which is where you'll also find an array of different bikes. Along with their gravel bike, they will undoubtedly have an aero bike, won't they? They'll have an early example of a disc brake bike, and they'll probably have a cyclocross bike that's gathering dust.
Indeed. Yeah, there's always room for one more though, isn't there? And this year, you'll be needing to get yourself a new bike with rim brakes, because rim brakes are so hot right now.
You don't need to tell that to the retro grouch,
No.
our next type of cyclist, because they already know that rim brakes are still really good, as long as they're at least 15 years old.
Well, quite right too. Modern cycling technology is just marketing hype. I mean, we all know peak technology was like 15 years ago.
What's weird though is that peak technology for this group of cyclists is always 15 years ago, no matter where the tech from that time was.
That is a good point. So they've got a few years to wait yet before they can enjoy the benefits of wider tyres, improved aerodynamics, electronic gears, hydraulic disc brakes. I mean, the list goes on.
On the flip side though, they are almost undoubtedly going to be in possession of a retro cross-country mountain bike, which means they can really enjoy gravel riding.
Yeah.
Although do not ask their opinion of a modern gravel bike.
Lastly, a new breed of cyclist, the virtual cyclist. Now, these are often quite hard to spot, aren't they? Because very often they don't really resemble their avatars.
No. My avatar is really cool. I was looking at it the other day.
Exactly.
On a rare occasion, it's like, you will spot this new breed on real tarmac. Although they will be easy to spot because they'll have a petrified look on their face, because riding on actual roads is quite dangerous. Yeah. And also, being in close proximity to real riders is nerve-wracking.
It is, yeah, and they might actually appreciate a reminder that they need to stop pedalling and turn their handlebars for corners, because you can take that for granted, can't you? You just keep the power on.
Although the virtual cyclist does have the added bonus that it's going to be quite hard for them to catch coronavirus, isn't it?
Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah.
Right, those are the 6 types of cyclists from our point. Which one would you fit into, actually, before we finish?
Well, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I'm not a has-been, because I'm a never was. I don't think I'm cool enough to be a hipster. I'm not a fashion victim because I've been around that long enough. I was wearing bum bags 25 years ago. I'm not a retro grouch because I really love new tech. And while I do love indoor cycling, I find it takes a long time to get to work that way. So
by a process of elimination, you're saying that all the kit was still a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I'm saying, isn't it, really? But,
we should probably point out, we are messing about here. In fact, we probably fit into most of these categories between.
Well, yeah, I think we all do, don't we? Apart from I'm not a has-been.
No, and I'm not a fashion victim.
Yeah, you got paid to wear those white shorts, didn't you? Never forget that.
I did. Anyway, let us know which category you best fall into, or in fact, if we've missed out any categories of cyclists. I'm sure we have.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to Zwift, though, briefly now.
Well, and coronavirus.
Yes, yeah, you'll remember that 4 teams have been quarantined over the cancelled UAE tour. Well, half of them have now been released back into the wild, but apparently whilst they were there, they were cheekily smuggling a few bits of contraband into their hotel rooms.
Yeah, firstly, bikes, indoor trainers and iPads so that the riders could get on Zwift. Nathan Haas, perhaps being one of their most high profile, he posted to Twitter to boast about his KOM that he'd got.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
That's a rarity for you. Pro cyclists that's very competitive.
Well, indeed, yeah.
And it wasn't just cycling-related equipment that was smuggled into the rooms. In fact, the Dutch YouTube star Bas Tjetsma arranged for a delivery of something completely different into Groupama FDJ's Raymond Sinkeldam's room.
Yeah, now Sinkeldam and Demar have been released as well, complete with their brand new Zwift setup and PS4, which is not bad for a week of, well, literally not working.
It is now time for your weekly GCN Inspiration, where you upload your inspirational cycling photos and videos to the GCN app, and we pick our favourite 3 out. In 3rd place this week, we have Dorin Mantui. What are they winning?
Well, they are winning a GCN Elite Fly water bottle set. Check it out, in black, I believe. this week.
Yeah, one small and one large. If you would like two of the same size, just let us know before we send them out.
Yeah, that would do my head in.
Anyway, Dorin wrote in and said, not like we had much of a winter anyway. First ride of the year at 2,000 metres, taken in the middle of descending the Etzel Pass overlooking Obersee in Zurich in Switzerland.
Wow!
Not a bike in sight, but that's still inspirational, isn't it?
It is, although I agree, it's slightly scary that is March in Switzerland, just from over 2,000 metres. So anyway, let's not dwell on that fact, because that is, as you say, an inspirational photo. Right, second prize, this one from Apfelblütenweg in Heidelberg, sent in by Robin V. What are they winning, Dan?
They are winning a Strive sweatshirt.
Ooh, cool. I like those ones.
I need to get one. I've never got my hands on this one. It reminded me when we were given these prizes that I need to request one.
Well,
I might just take this one.
You haven't really been sending any inspirational photos, have you, recently?
Every week.
So anyway, that is a particular banger, isn't it? I mean, that definitely sums up the joys of spring riding for me.
Definitely a slight filter on that one, though. Surely.
Well,
does
just
look
a touch,
good,
isn't it?
It's inspirational. That's the main thing.
As long as it's not photoshopped, I think that's all right. You can tweak it, can't you? Just
I thought so. Not too much though.
No. Well, then we wouldn't pick it because then we'd be like, look what they've done on HDR.
Talk about making the rules up as you go along. Anyway, the big prize this
week. Works for UCI, mate. Works for us. The big prize this week. First place is GCN Strive fan kit jersey with matching muscle top and, of course, some wicked socks as well.
Yeah, and that prize is going to Giorgio Cu, who sent this photo in from the Balcone d'Italia over in Sigignola. Is that right?
I don't know.
We just asked our Italian colleague how to say it, and I've already forgotten it. It was something along those lines. But anyway, the photo is absolutely fantastic.
That is insanely cool, isn't it?
Spettacolare, as the description came in.
Indeed.
Amazing. We also looked up some more photos from that place. When it hasn't got the clouds underneath there, it's equally as spectacular, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
In some ways, more so.
Nice to see a bit of snow in the background as well. That's, reassuring.
Right. I thought we had a very good 3 photos this week.
I did, yeah.
If you would like to get involved ready for next week's show, the usual method, download the GCN app if you haven't done so already and upload your inspirational photos to that.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now. I'm going to start with the news that Chris Opie, aka John Travolta, is unfortunately going to be leaving GCN in order to make a return to bike racing.
He is. And it appears that the series he presented, which was Can Chris Go Pro Again, where he joined the Zwift Academy, has backfired a little bit for us because the answer now is yes, he can. Yeah, he's going to be racing for the St Piran cycling team, which is based in his home county of Cornwall here in the UK. I'll be completely honest, Dan, I'm going to be really sorry to see him go from GCN, but on the other hand, I'm really, really excited to see him back racing bikes and hopefully get back to his winning ways. I don't think it'll be long till he wins a race based on the power numbers he's producing before he left. Although, he's going to have to hope that there are some races on because as we know, some key races, particularly in Italy, have already been cancelled, at least postponed due to the coronavirus. Strada Bianca in Milano San Remo, for example, as well as some other big events. The North American hand-built bike show, Bespoked, which is the equivalent here in the UK, as well as the Sea Otter Classics.
Yeah, it's funny though, although we might be able to go to big events or watch quite as many on our TVs, I think I'm actually going to end up riding my bike more. Certainly commuting to and from work every day as opposed to catching the train a couple of times a week.
Sticking with commuting, this is going to make you ride your bike to work instead of using a car, even if the coronavirus doesn't. So INRIX, who are a traffic data consultancy company, recently released their global traffic scorecard. And it turns out that on average, a British commuter in a car wastes 115 hours of their time in traffic.
Every year. That's a lot, isn't it? Now, globally, they've released a top 10 list of cities that are the worst offenders. London is just a little bit worse than the 2 worst offenders from the US, who are Chicago and Boston. They round out the top 10. The worst in Europe are Rome and Paris, but then globally, residents of Bogota, Colombia, waste 194 hours per year stuck in traffic.
Quite incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
Another interesting piece of traffic-related research that we saw, linked on the Cycling Science Twitter feed, was this one, published in the Transport Research and Policy, Part A.
Oh, there's a classic, that one. It's just such a shame that Part B didn't live up to the promise. I'm just hoping they're going to get it back on track for Part C.
Well, we should wait and see. But let's focus on Part A to start, because that was a good one. So, Hungarian researchers have found that banning Uber from the streets of Budapest correlated in a reduction of the use of bike-sharing schemes, suggesting that the two completely different modes of transport have a complementary relationship.
It's a funny one to get your head around that, isn't it? More people using Uber means more people using bike sharing. But there we go. Hopefully
you wouldn't
something.
Expect it, would you?
No, hopefully something for transport planners to bear in mind in the future.
Now, unfortunately, we are going to finish Cycling Shorts this week on a very sombre note. So last week, Nico Portal, who was a professional bike rider who turned himself into arguably one of the most successful sports directors that sport has ever seen, passed away on Tuesday at the tender age of 40.
His impact on the sport, though, will be much broader than just strategy and results. The outpouring of love for him on social media was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. Members from all quarters of the cycling community were united in their tributes to him. Without fail, everyone praised him as a kind and happy, generous man that had time for everyone.
It's quite incredible, wasn't it? And I think that definitely is going to be his legacy. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children, and our condolences go to them, to all his friends and teammates, and to anyone that's ever known him. Hack / Bodge of the week. Now, you weren't ready for that, were you?
No, I wasn't, mate. I'm still in Colombia.
First up, this from Matt O'Brien. I spotted this creation walking through Munich this morning. Where do I begin?
Whoa.
Cargo pallet peddler is a description.
Well, I don't know, mate. I think that's quite good, isn't it, really? Like, I don't know what it'd be like to ride. Probably handle like a barge, but still, versatile.
Pedro Gon says anything that involves lumber is a bodge.
Well,
I'm not going to let him sway my own opinion, though.
no, okay, go on then. What do you think? Hack or bodge?
Yeah.
Bodge?
Bodge.
What?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a hack, actually.
Do you?
Well, I mean, like, I don't want to be mean, but like, that bike is all right, but you know, it's probably not got much to say for itself.
Surely the saddle alone makes it a bodge. Look at the state of it.
Well, okay, but you know, now it's like a versatile cargo
Well,
bike.
let's see if the public agree, Si.
Go on then.
72% say bodge.
Oh.
Yeah, 28% of people agree with you, Si.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next up, we got this one from Paterbell. This is a bike repair stand with a view, which I don't know whether that's eligible for hack or bodge, is it? It looks like a proper thing.
Yeah, spotted this free-to-use bike repair stand with the most necessary tools in Innsbruck, and when you zoom in, look, Si, there's all sorts of things.
It's got all the kit on it. Quite clearly, that's a hack.
But is that all the gear and no idea?
Well, it depends who's using it, isn't it? But there we go. No, I think that's a clear hack.
Well, that's a definite hack from me as well. And it is a hack from 91% of you.
Well done,
all
everyone.
in agreement on
Yeah,
that one.
91% of you are right. Right, next up we've got this one from Kamuru Ishigami. Okay, this, Dan, I think is borderline genius. You know my hatred of zip ties on bikes, okay? Well, this is a very expensive and difficult solution to the problem, although given he's made it himself, it's obviously cheap. So he CNC machined a new brake boss, basically, for his bike. So he said he's got rid of his zip ties after 8 years on that bike, which is just brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I can only go one way for that one as well. It's got to be a hack. 100%
hack. That is amazing. The time and effort into making that. In fact, you could probably sell them.
Well, it's not 100% hack. It's 90% hack, according to our viewers.
What?
Who's the 10% that said that was a bodge?
I don't know, but that does seem like you can't say that's a bodge. That's just genius.
Right, next up, this from Arkman. The knob of my turbo trainer broke off, so I drilled a hole through the shaft and put a bolt through it so I can still tighten it.
Nice.
Title of that submission to the GCN App, Broken Knob.
Well, I guess that's a hack then. If you fixed your broken turbo trainer, No one wants to be putting up with a broken knob, do they? So as long as you can sell them.
I'll go for hack as well then.
Yeah, hack for me.
And it is 69% hack.
You couldn't write, could you?
No, you couldn't.
But again, 31% of people saying that's a bodge. If you've just fixed something that's broken, that's got to be a hack, surely. What's going on? Maybe you need to justify yourself.
I'm fairly sure that we've had something on before that has fixed something broken and we've probably deemed it a bodge. But there you go. Anyway, finally this week, I think, is this one that came in from Bella Soda. I built this carbon fixie frame set using carbon fibre weave and resin. Weight of the frame set is 1,150 grams. I've done 150 kilometres on the completed bike. It rides great.
It looks very cool too. Like, I mean, there's part of me that's worried for you, but then, you know, having said that, 1,100 grams of carbon fibre and resin, it's probably going to be pretty bomb-proof, I'd have thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no way I could even start making my own carbon fibre frame, so for me, that is a hack.
It's right there with 3D printing, isn't it? It's just black magic.
Actually, we've been through this before. If it comes down to whether or not I can do it, it means that everything's a hack.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, 81% of the GCN app users said that one was a hack, and I think we're both in agreement with that. Don't forget to get involved ready for next week's GCN show. Again, you need to use the GCN app to upload your hacks and bodges, and we shall pass judgment this time next week. But, we have one more hack or bodge to pass judgment on. I've just scrolled further down the script.
Well, that's a bodge, isn't it?
This is from Dixon CP Affirm. Providing security for attaching bike to car with handcuffs from Mississippi.
Well, there we go.
Well, I was finishing with a bodge, surely.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Are handcuffs good bike security? I don't really know.
I've never used them for that.
No, I haven't. Can you normally get out of them, can you?
Well, no. I don't, I'm not in them. What are you on about?
I don't know, you just said you don't use them for that, so I assume you've used them for someone else. What have you used them for?
It's all time. Caption Contest now, which is of course your weekly chance to get your grubby mitts on a much coveted GCN Elite water bottle. Last week's photo featured these two stars, namely Oliver Bridgewood and Connor Dunn in the background there.
It's like, where's Wally, isn't it?
And then, yeah, which one's Wally? Ollie.
Yep.
Just decided. Sorry, Ollie. We asked him if we could use that caption as well, and he said no, but we went with it anyway. The winner is Gordon Motes, who put, "They knew they weren't done because there was more to come."
Yes. I mean,
don't get many rhyming captions, do we?
No, we don't, but I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
If you want to win next week, make it rhyme.
That's it. Well done, Gordon. A GCN Elite water bottle is coming your way. Right, next up, we've got this image, which was of Thijs Benoot, and it was taken... Tish Benoot, and it was taken on the Eau de Quedamont. Can I have a go, Dan? Yeah, after 3 weeks away from the GCN show, I quite fancy my chances. Life as a quarantine professional cyclist was hard work.
That didn't rhyme.
No, I know, but it was great though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good, mate. Actually.
Yeah. You see what I mean? Because he's kind of not in the peloton, so it's really hard
I can see
work.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Very funny too.
Cool, thanks, mate.
Right, let us know your captions in the comment section down below, and we'll pick a winner this time next week.
If any of you can beat me, which, well, good luck. As ever, you have been leaving some quality comments under the GCN videos the last week. We love going through and reading them. We picked out a few highlights, haven't we? Starting with this one under the Cobbled Climbs video that Connor presented. Jay Demeest pointed out one slight inconsistency from Connor, though. He said, "I just love the climbs of Belgium, especially the cobbled ones." And then that was swiftly followed by, "Top tip, avoid the cobbles and ride in the gutter." Which, well, yeah. I mean,
maybe that's why he enjoys the cobbled climbs.
Yeah,
he's not riding on the cobbles.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a bit more clever than you thought. Anyway, underneath how to buy your first bike, Davas G96 said, "Goes to Decathlon to get one thing, leaves with 5. Yep, sounds about right. I can confirm."
So true, isn't it?
You can spend years of your life in Decathlon and not get bored, can't you?
I had a brilliant morning in Decathlon the other week. Amazing. Tried on like archery stuff, some horse riding stuff. They even sell plastic ducks that you can use as target practice.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me, mate. I take the family there quite often for a day out.
Good point.
Meanwhile, underneath the Rad Race video that came out at the weekend, bass bus music, I'm sure that is, said the look on Manon's face at the start. "I don't like this. I don't want to do this. Gun goes off. I'm going to win this. Get out of my way." I suppose that is the competitive instinct. Actually, she should talk about her career more. We should get onto that.
She should,
She was very, very good indeed. Right,
maybe if you shut up for a minute, she might.
Coming up on the channel this week. On Wednesday, we're going to tell you what you need to start bike racing, apart from having bike races organised that aren't cancelled, which is the obvious one. On Thursday, top 10 bike parts that changed the world. And on Friday...
Probably world of cycling, we should say. But, maybe some of them changed the world. Full stop.
well, not far off, even if they didn't quite change the world.
Tune in on Thursday.
And on Friday, we're going to show you how to race at altitude. Quite racing heavy this week, isn't it? So we're keeping our fingers crossed that it's relevant for
Well,
everyone.
that's right, yeah, and it carries on actually. Our mates at GCN Italia had a brilliant scoop filming an interview with Matteo Trentin, and so we've got that for you on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have got how to watch cobbled classics like a pro. So this is the one where Connor and Ollie were loitering around at the top of the Muir. They were actually mid-filming a video, so I cannot wait to see that. I'm hoping they ate a lot of fruit.
As Ollie
Mayo.
pointed out last week, the top tip is to be about 7 foot tall like Connor, so you can see everything above the crowd.
Well, Ollie's looking the wrong way. Like, that's not how to watch him. Look at that photo again. He's literally looking the wrong way.
He's about to do a selfie for Instagram, isn't he?
Probably,
With the bike
yeah.
race behind him. That's
Hipster
how
as
not
well
to
as a
watch a
geek.
bike race. Right, also don't forget that we've got daily highlights of Paris-Nice over on GCN Racing.
That's right. One of the best races of the season. And this year it might be one of the only races of the season. So definitely make sure you watch it. But then the highlights, I guess, will stay there. So that's a bonus, isn't it?
It is.
Right, unfortunately, that is it for the GCN show for this week. Thank you very much for watching. And please, as always, give it a like and a share as well.
Cut. Hell. I don't even know where we're going to go back to.
I think we just leave it there.